Hey everyone, it's been a long time. Yeah, I got COVID last year, and so I was kind of sidelined, and then started writing a book, and got sidetracked with that. But Chamber of Progress is back, and today we're going to talk about an idea that I had that may come as a surprise to some people. I am talking about nationalizing the stock market. Yep, that's right. You nationalize the stock market. Now, why would we do this? There's a way that we can pay for all the public programs that we need without taxing people too much. You know, you hear this argument from conservatives and libertarians and any kind of capitalist enthusiast or sympathizer and say, yeah, you don't want to tax people too much because then people won't start businesses or jobs will go away, blah, blah, blah. Most of these are empty threats anyway. But to kind of play off the logic a little bit, and also to deal with corruption, this is a very important part of the issue because what is the one tool that the rich and powerful use to get into power and rig the system? They use the stock market. What is the purpose of the stock market? To grow wealth. You invest a little bit here and you get a maximum amount here. Minimal investment, maximum yield. That's the goal. Taking that logic and the function of the stock market, nationalizing it, effectively turning what is just a financial trading post and turning it into what is essentially a multifaceted public trust fund. Each company that decides to go public and have stock, the higher those stock prices go, the higher that portfolio gets, the more money exists to pay for our public programs. That's how this would work. Now, of course, it would be up to the companies as to what they invested in. Some companies may decide to invest in some areas more than others. But overall, it's the same philosophy as the original stock market. When you create it, when you turn it into a public portfolio, small investment here, mainly just through economic activity, you may have to have a little taxation where some areas are falling short, but maximum yield from real economic activity. That's you and me as consumers and workers just doing our normal thing every day. Just our economic activity, and the incentive structure is here for more economic growth. And more than that, companies who have stock, what do they like to do most of the time? They like to use their vast cash reserves simply to measure against each other and say, look at me, I got more money than you. Oh yeah, I got more money than you now. And it's just back and forth, it's how rich people and corporations measure each other. You know what I'm saying? Instead of doing the jock thing in the locker room or something, they do it with their wallets. And this is the tool they do it with. The unfortunate part of that reality is we, the workers, we, the consumers, are the pawns in their little game. It really does not serve any functional purpose. It adds no value to the real economy. It just doesn't. It's just a bunch of rich people trying to out-macho each other. What this will do, and before I get to that, this is something that's important to point out as well. The stock market is what the rich and powerful use to grow their wealth, and their wealth is what they use to get into power, use that wealth to influence others, and help rig the system, right? If the government captures and makes public the stock market, turns it into this public trust fund, a multifaceted trust fund, every corporation that emerges that issues stock becomes part of that trust fund. And the more that exists, the more companies that have stock that exist, the more the merrier. Because the bigger that portfolio gets, the more public programs we can fund. Potentially even to the point where we wouldn't even have to tax anybody. Think about that a second. Normal economic activity. You have people doing the work, producing. People are buying if they're making a decent wage. That portfolio starts to shoot up. Everything else being equal, you could eventually start paying for someone with either low taxes or hypothetically no taxes. But it's still publicly funded because it's done through real economic activity. This stock entity is no longer supported and valued by rich people and corporations buying back their own stock. Now the stock market, or the stock fund, this trust fund, is functioning the way it was originally intended, with average people calling the shots with their normal, real economy activities. And the better we do, the better our corporate. And by the way, if we had decided to invest in other companies around the world and draw them into our portfolio, that would be possible too. We have foreign companies on our exchange anyway. So if we did that, we create a situation where it's mutually beneficial for companies to help each other rather than compete each other to try to force somebody else out of business. There is, as it so happens, there is a country that's already doing something similar to this. Norway. Norway has a very similar system set up where they have a national stock portfolio and they invest in companies all over the world. They use that money to fund many of their public programs. So this is where I got the idea. The United States can take a lesson from the Norwegians. You do, once again, minimal investment, maximum yield. That's what this is all about. You take the stock market out of private hands, so it's no longer about a bunch of rich people trying to rig the system and screw the working class over just to boost their own profits. Now, every company that makes all these profits, the competition becomes, hey, look at me. I can serve society better this way. Oh yeah, well I can do it more over here this way. It's still that competitive spirit. That the incentive is still there. It's just being repurposed for something better. So that's my idea. Nationalize the stock market. Take away the tool that the rich and powerful uses to rig the system. Make it a public good. So, let me know what you think in the comment section. If you like this idea, share this video, spread it around. Do your own research on it. If you have any ideas to help make this happen, feel free to share them. And I'll be back on later, guys.